Me like last night and as of today, my fog and DPDR got a lot higher. Um, some things are a little better and some things are worse. It is just fluctuating, and moving and morphing. The anxiety is still high, and that's probably making it worse. I wake up just like I did a long time ago. I wake up with that uh, extreme terror, not terror, but extreme anxiety. I had a few terror days, uh, but extreme anxiety, and it's in my gut, and it just shoots out that energy. Um, feel like throwing up it's just it's impossible to function with anxiety like this. Like my symptoms are pretty high, but I can usually tolerate it much better until anxiety is just like out of control. And that's been out of control for a few weeks. I would say it might be a touch better, but not by much. So it's little by little with this. It's just a constant flow of like adrenaline feeling, and it doesn't stop. And I've got nothing to worry about right now. Nothing. Did my shopping, getting my work done. Nothing. It's just there. So I usually don't like to talk about my anxiety to anybody else, just because I know they're going to say, "Well, what's triggering it?" And sadly, I always have to say nothing, or my health triggers it. It just triggers on its own. So there's not much I can do about it. Some days it's a little better. I can distract enough to get through it, which is good. But distraction, as you know, can be very exhausting. The DPDR is just getting high. The fog is getting high. So today is a rest day for me. I had to go to the grocery store, but it's a rest day. Do some meditation and just hanging out and laying down, which doesn't help with it sometimes because it's not distracting enough. But if I distract enough, it can be so exhausting that it makes me worse. So I remember these days. I mean, this is what I went through for years. And it was every day. Do I distract? Do I not? Do I distract? Do I not? How do I weigh it? And here I am again doing the same fucking thing. It's been years. I can't even remotely get close to what I was doing before. Nothing. I can't even remotely get close to what I was doing before. And that just makes me want to cry. Um, I got out a lot for a little while. It was great. It's getting my life back to a point. Made people believe that I was better than I was. Not that I have people hounding me about it or anything, but I know it can be really frustrating. Just not feeling it, not feeling well. Some days you just feel like giving up. I mean, I'm not going to. I'm going to do this until I die. If I die tomorrow, I'm going to fight to do this and get through this. But damn, it's heavy. It's fucking heavy and exhausting. So yeah. So yeah, I thought I'd come on here at a different time again because normally I'm out during this times, but right now I'm not. So I thought I'd come on and just have some see if everybody else that can't normally watch, able to hang out. So, yeah, time is a wasting, and that's the thing is, I'm doing my best to not have my time wasted and my life wasted while I'm dealing with this. So I did a lot. I did a lot. And I started enjoying my life, even though it was really fucking hard. But it's like better to a point mentally where I can do it. But all that did, and amongst other stuff, it was just take me right back to years ago. So it's like, well, I guess I can't do it that way. I guess I can occasionally enjoy something and then rest for a good long time. But that's bullshit because it's like, what? I've been to 2 movies in 7.5 years. 2. But I shouldn't have to go to a movie and have to rest and meditate for 2 weeks just for my body to tolerate it. It doesn't make sense. But that's the way it is. And I cannot have fun. I cannot. You know, before I was able to do a lot of things, but the aftermath would catch up with me and it was terrible. Now I'm in such bad anxiety state and, you know, in a fucked up place that it's like I can't even like walk into these places without it like just freaking me out. It's just not fun. It's just not fun. I have no motivation. Everything's just falling apart. Again, the holidays coming around, that's hard, you know, because it's a lot to think about. Because as much as I love the holidays and I like being around, you know, people I care about, it's just something like in the DPDR head, it's hard. It's hard. So I'm not too sure. I just live with it and just keep doing my routine and, you know, suffering with it. So I still suggest when people get off benzos to not get on other drugs. Because that's been the hell. That's been what has brought this to be so long. Still tapering Remeron. Still tapering. I can barely taper it because of how bad my nervous system is. And that's the thing. It's like people think, oh, I could just taper that after. No, because if benzos fucked up your nervous system, tapering other drugs is going to be an absolute torturous bitch. And you're always going to be mentally and physically ill until you get off of that stuff. And you just have to force the tapers and deal with the horrific symptoms. And it's not just the withdrawal of the drug. That I can deal with. But it's that secondary jolt to the nervous system that just sticks around and tortures you and morphs, makes the symptoms morph, you know. So you just don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. So yeah, I'm tapering Remeron till I probably have a few more years to go. And the only reason that is because it's fucking torture to taper on top of my already super fragile nervous system. And it just mentally fucks me. And it goes on for months and months when I taper. Months and months. And if I do anything after I taper, even if I feel better, doesn't matter. My nervous system's fragile. Then it's just trying to get through another horrific wave. And then now I did after I did, because I have carpal tunnel in my left hand, and I did a test to see what level it was at, not knowing it was a nerve stimulation test. That threw me over to where life isn't functional like this. And it's not just a wave. I mean, it's a setback, and I'm going to have to live with it. And I'll get back to normal, but geez, it's going to take a while. Like, you can always tell when it's bad. So, not really sure what to do. Guess I have to deal with it, that's all. I think I've asked what should I do a million times. It doesn't fucking matter. It's nothing I can do. I just have support from the people I care about and hope for the best. And hope the setback doesn't just keep fucking rolling. But it's easily one of the worst physical setbacks I've ever had. And let alone the mental has gotten pretty rough. To the point where it's like, well, the mental got worse, but the anxiety made it way worse. So it's not like, oh, I just need to relax. Well, that would be nice, but I can't just do that. It's not like I can meditate and I know it'll be better. It's just keep meditating, keep relaxing, keep the nervous system as non-fragile as possible. And then little bits by little bits, it'll get better. But you have one little setback in there, like you get a little shock about something, you're back to square zero. You know, trying it again. And that's the thing. I can't get away from stress or anxiety or anything. I can't get away from it. Life is that way. Life works that way. It comes with stress. That's it. So I don't know how you heal from this. I guess it's just keep tapering, get off the medication, and that will definitely help. But I hate the person who says Remeron. My doctor said Remeron was going to be so easy to get off of. But I didn't know. I was fucking delirious. I'm like, yeah, whatever. I need to sleep. It was 14 days I didn't sleep. So, yeah, I needed something. And I would have taken anything at that time. But it would have been nice to hear, like, hey, take this for 3 or 4 days, get some sleep, but stop taking it. If you don't sleep again for a while, you can take it for a couple days, but do not get dependent on this drug, or it's something you're going to have to taper in the future. And if you think you can handle that, great. If not, but no, they're all over it saying it's fucking easy and it's no problem. That's a fucking joke. You can tell my attitude today. Yeah, they said it was the easiest one, but they didn't tell. They just tell me it wasn't a benzo and it was something that could help you sleep. They didn't even mention that it was an off-label of a psych drug. Because I would have said no. I'll be like, I don't want a psych drug. Just give me something that's not a benzo and not a Z drug that can help me sleep. And honestly, if they would have just said, what is it, clonidine, or there was another one as well that's like more of an antihistamine, not Remeron wise, but it would been way easier. I could have taken that. Like when I fucked up Remeron and I over tapered. This was probably about 2.5, 3 years ago now. When I over tapered and I thought I was gonna die. They put me on I don't even remember what it's called, and I took it for 3 or 4 days, and after that I took it for 2 more days. I just cut it in half and I was done. There was no problem, but it helped me get back to sleep, and my body started to recover a little bit, and I was starting to sleep again. That's all they had to do with the benzos, get me on something much safer, and I wouldn't be dealing with this right now. But they have no fucking clue what they're doing. No fucking clue. They gave me Seroquel. They gave me fucking... This is all after benzo. Seroquel. They gave me fucking Remeron. They gave me gabapentin. They gave me heart medication. It's just... That's exhausting. Faking this anymore is exhausting. It's been 7.5 years. And I would say the last year was my best year. Until things started just crashing because I started overdoing it. I started eating like shit. And when I say like shit, just normal stuff. Because I haven't eaten cheese or corn in 7 years because it used to bother the fuck out of me. So I just decided to start eating it like an idiot. Anyway, yeah, and I have to say it threw me into a pretty bad wave. But it wasn't until I had that test through my carpal tunnel that threw me under. Let's see. You say I can't handle stress now. Finally finished tapering off Xanax a couple months ago. Feels like my nervous system is really messed up. Yep. Don't get on any other drugs. If you don't want to deal with this as long as I have, and obviously everybody's different, but I'm just being honest for what's in my life. If it wasn't for the extra drugs, I think this would have been done 4 or 5 years, probably 5 years ago. But it's the constant madness of a drug that I should have never been on in the first place. So if you need to take something once in a great while, don't get dependent on anything else. That's just it. And if you start feeling better by next year, be grateful, because doctors over fucking prescribe. And you'll see stress. I've been through a lot of stress in the last many, many, many years. I've dealt with a lot. And stress does take a huge toll on my body, but it is possible to get through it. Well, I'm glad to hear. I'm glad to hear. For anybody watching in the future, um, comment was, I've learned to stay away from psych meds from watching videos like yours. I always say, do what helps you. You know, I mean, I always say, don't stay away from things that might be really good for you. But if you already know what's going to help. You know, you already know if an antidepressant's going to help you. Benzos were always last resorts for most people. I don't even know if that's thoroughly true, but it was for me. And I just tell my story of what happened. Some people get a lot of help from it, but I also feel a lot of people who do get help from that really needed an antidepressant in general and probably didn't have that bad of a time off of benzos. Although it might feel like it, that they probably didn't, you know, because these kind of things can really mess up your nervous system when it's fragile. So, do what you got to do in your life, but other than that, it's we're kind of on our own, you know. I know I can't get any help. I can't do anything for anything. And that's what sucks, because I'll see other people get help from things. And I'm not against antidepressants. I'm not. If it helps you, by all means, take it. If it changes your life, by all means, take it. But if you can do something else to fix this, like honestly, if a doctor said to me before I went on benzos, hey, have you tried a good CBD oil? That's supposed to calm down your nervous system a little bit, and that might really change your life. That alone right there, I mean, I don't take CBD now, but if they could have suggested that, I would have went out and tried it before I took the hardcore drugs. And I guarantee, I bet it would have helped me, because it would have calmed down my nervous system, and then when it faded out, it would just fade to normal. Not like now, if I did CBD, it would fucking probably calm me down, and then my nervous system would completely freak out because my nervous system's fucking broken. So I can't take anything to calm me down. All I can do is meditate, try to keep on my good diet, and take baths and relax. And it still feels like it never fucking helps. I feel like I'm going nuts again. It sucks. But I just try to tell my story. Like I said, and you all know everybody's different, you know. I don't want people to not, get help or something that might help them because of my story. But then again, my story is I've seen more than enough. And I've also seen everybody who's been really, really protracted like me. There was one thing in common every single fucking time, and it was getting off the other drugs. Tapering while a fragile nervous system. And then once I saw them get off the other drugs, yeah, it took a long time, but they progressively got better. Progressively got better. Were they the same? No. And I'll never fucking pull the rug over anybody. But were they the same as 100% as they were before all this? No. I don't give a fuck. I seriously don't care. I don't care to be 100%. What I do care about is getting to a point where I can live my life, which I know is possible. Live my life, be able to take a vacation, be able to take a walk, take a little hike without it fucking tearing me apart. And I did do some of that this last year. Me and my girlfriend, we did a lot of fun stuff. I took a little hike with her. Oh, that was really fun. It wasn't long, but it was something, I tolerated it. I went on picnics. I went to a movie, which didn't do me well, to be honest, but it was fun. I went to a lot of things. For me, it was big because it's been 7.5 years since I did any of that. But I also took advantage of it. And that's partially why I'm in the place I'm in now. Um, Part of the problem is like I feel like I can do a lot of stuff. Not right now, but I did. And I said, fuck it, I'll just do it. Just endure the waves. But the waves became bigger and bigger and bigger. And it was a point of, it wasn't just a wave, it was just like damaging myself. And that was fine. I was in a pretty bad shape, but it would have been something that probably would have faded in a month or two, at least to a point. And, but I got that nerve stimulation test, which I don't know why I didn't think about before I got that. God, I've been so vigilant for 7.5 years. I figured I'd be stronger by now, but anyway, my left hand is going numb, so they wanted to figure out where was going on, so fine. And it's not like my regular neuropathy that I know of from benzo withdrawal syndrome. You know, that I can tell. I've got that in my feet and my hands, but it's not like a numbness. I could tell this was like typical everyday people's kind of shit. So, yeah. And as soon as I laid there and he put something on me and he said, okay, hold your breath because this current is going to be strong. I'm like, oh, fuck, he's putting electricity through my nerves? And he did. He did. And that right there changed everything. He did it about 30 to 40 times, and he said they were going, sometimes they'd go through my neck and into my spine. Of course, I couldn't feel the ones in my spine, thank God. But he said they went through, and that alone is scary because after that, everything fell apart. Everything fell apart. So it's not just a setback. It's like I over-tapered my meds, except I don't have the major depression. It's pretty intense. That's why the anxiety is so bad. My anxiety is worse now than it was when I over-tapered my meds. So it's kind of just, instead of the depression, it went to anxiety. So it's going to be something that's going to take a little time to get through. And just so you know, I mean, shit happens. Just because you're feeling okay, that's kind of my point. Just because you're feeling okay doesn't mean you should be going crazy and doing everything and everything. Because that does not work with people in this position. It doesn't work. You can try, but just like there's so many plans coming up, I had to say, no, I can't do that. I can't do this because there's something else. And honestly, I shouldn't even be doing the things I'm going to be doing. But, you know, it's the fucking holidays and I fucking deserve it, you know? Fucking A. So, I'm not going to totally disregard my life because I'm in really bad shape, but I have to be very careful. I have to be very careful. And that makes me sad because it's been so much work to get where I'm at. And I've gotten pretty far, but now I feel like I'm about 2 or 3 years behind again. So I hope it, you know, actually before, like when it first got really, really fucking bad, I would say it was probably 20% worse. So I think I'm a little percentage better, but my anxiety does fly fucking harsh still. And that's the thing that needs to calm the fuck down so my nervous system can calm the fuck down. I don't know why everything's so insane. So it just is what it is, right? So anyway, just do your best and know that shit can happen years later, but get off those fucking drugs. If you're tapering something, just keep on the path. If something helps you and you know it's helping, then stay on it. But it's hard to heal a nervous system when you're on other stuff, you know, especially when you were put on it after the fact. I think a lot of the times, like when you're on something before, it's like not as big, but you know, if you're just put on something for a minimal amount of time and then you got dependent on it, you're stuck on it and you're trying to taper it, yeah, it's going to be hard and it's going to take a while. It's just a fact. It's going to take a while. Distract, distract, distract. But over distraction can be an absolute bitch too. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. Thanks for listening. I just felt like I needed to talk and vent kind of my frustrations from this. It doesn't really help in a distraction mode because I'm talking about it, but it does help a little bit. I'm tired. Anyway, have a great day, rest of your weekend, and try to have a great week and upcoming holidays and all that. So take care.